Well, good morning and welcome to Coffee with the Pastor. Uh, I have some new items today and I'm hoping they're working. I've got some software where I can put things up, and then I also have a microphone today, so we hope it all works. We've been looking through Genesis. We yesterday talked about Cain and Abel. They were born from Adam and Eve, and we talked about the significance of them. They had the first worship service and the first murder. And but now they're going to have another child, and we're going to look at him today. I'm in chapter 4, verse 25. And the New International Version says, Adam made love to his wife again, and she gave birth to a son and named him Seth, saying, God has granted me another child in place of Abel, since Cain killed him. Seth also had a son, and he named him Enosh. The word used for having Seth is the word seed. Seed came from woman. I've been brushing up on my Hebrew, and I had Hebrew when I was in seminary, but I didn't keep up with it. And the old saying, if you don't use it, you lose it, is true. I kind of lost my Hebrew after seminary. I kept up with my Greek, but not my Hebrew. And so for the last year and a half, I've been taking Hebrew online with professors, Jewish professors from Jerusalem. And it's been very interesting. I've enjoyed it very much, enjoyed studying the Jewish perspective. But one of the things in learning the original language, I've learned that the writers didn't do anything by accident. They used certain words and phrases over and over and over, and you realize, okay, they're not doing this by accident, they're doing this on purpose. And one of the things that I noticed, just in translating the Hebrew in this passage, was a Hebrew word by the name of zerah. That's what it looks like in the Hebrew. And then this is what it looks like. This is how you would pronounce it. Zerah. It means seed. That's significant because in Genesis 3:15, when the woman's getting the curse, there's also a promise given. Jesus says that the seed of the serpent will always be at enmity, always be at odds with the seed of woman, seed of Isha. Isha is a woman, Hebrew for woman. But out of the seed of woman, there will be one who will crush the head of the serpent. The serpent will bruise his heel, but he will crush the head of the serpent. Both Jews and Christians use that as a messianic verse. There's really no debate about that in both Jewish scholars and Christian scholars. We Christian scholars look at it as a word that there would be one born, and we believe it was Jesus. Jews believe the Messiah is going to be born, but it will be an individual who will come and be Messiah. Very interesting. But the word is zerah, and it uses the seed of the serpent. Well, very interesting, when it talks about Cain and Abel, zerah, the word seed, is not used. Doesn't happen. Now, I wonder if maybe the one who wrote this down knew that Cain and Abel, Abel was killed and Cain didn't become a very significant person. So he used it with Seth. And Seth is used at the seed of woman. Seth is a seed of woman. And that's a way that it was referred to as the birth, but it goes back to the promise, which I think is very significant. The seed. And like I say, you miss that if you don't know the original Hebrew, but it's good to know those things and notice those things. But he goes on in chapter 5, and they begin a lineage to Noah, from Adam to Noah. And it's going to start with Seth. But he's going to start this way. In chapter 5, he says, this is written the account of Adam's family line. When God created mankind, And that word mankind is Adam. Adam. He made them in the likeness of God. He created them male and female and blessed them, and he named them mankind when they were created. Now, the word Adam stands for a particular person, the first man, that lived in the garden with Eve, a particular person. But the word Adam is also the word that's used for mankind, or can be translated humanity. It includes both men and women, so humanity might be the better way to refer to it in these days. But for all mankind, all humanity, it's Adam, but also for a particular guy, it's Adam. And only context can show you, because it's the same word, it's Adam in Hebrew, so only context can tell you. But he repeats the creation story in Genesis 1, where he created them male and female, blessed them, and he named them Adam when they were created. It says, when Adam had lived 130 years, he had a son in his own likeness, in his own image, and he named him Seth. Adam's 130 years old, and he has another son by the name of Seth. Now, notice the language here. It's very interesting. The writer of Genesis reminds us that God created humanity in his image, in his likeness. Now, Adam has a son, and we'll just look at that. When God created mankind, or Adam, humanity, he created them in the likeness of God. Now, Adam's going to have a son, Seth. And look, and we'll see what it says. He had a son in his likeness, in his own image. Now, here's the significance of these verses, I think. A lot of people want to think that we lost the image of God in the fall, during the sin. But right here, it tells us we didn't. The writer's very careful to say, Adam, humanity, was made in God's image, male and female, both, made in God's image. Now, Adam has a son in his likeness. Now, Adam, made in God's image. Seth is in Adam's image, which would be what? The image of God. We still are made in the image of God. And there's lots of implications on that. I almost wish I could preach a sermon on that right now. But when we look at other folks, we have to realize that they're in the image of God. I'm in the image of God. It's very necessary for us to understand how important it is to know that we're in the image of God. And so I encourage you today to go through this life understanding that you're in God's image, and that others that you meet are in God's image. Even those that irritate you are in God's image and need to be treated with respect because of that. It's a great lesson, and one I hope you'll take throughout the day. That, like the old preacher used to say, you were created in God's image, and God don't make no junk. And you weren't junk, and you're special to God, and so is everybody else that you're going to meet today. So love God with all your heart, soul, and mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. But be sure to love yourself and love your neighbor. Blessings to you, and I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll talk about the lineage, some interesting things about the lineage going from Adam to Noah. And so I'll see you tomorrow.